1 year. 1 year is all it takes to become that aesthetic god that you want to be, to feel good, to look good. But let's be honest, guys, you want to look good. Hey bro, how are you? Today, right now, we're heading to the gym to get in our cutting workout to not lose the muscle while I'm doing this cut phase. And then I'm gonna walk to the office to do some work, get some shit done. And I'm going to do some coaching calls with some men, some godly men that are struggling with addiction, with trying to break free from bad habits and live a good life, a wholesome life. And I'll probably record those and put them here for you guys to see. And then I'm gonna come home and spend time with the kids. Today's topic is about how to get jacked as shit, how to get shredded fast. I mean fast. When I say fast, I mean 1 year. 1 year is all it takes to become that aesthetic god that you want to be, to feel good, to look good. But let's be honest, guys, you want to look good. I know I want to look good, but also feel good. So I'm going to give you the eternal life hack, the big domino that if you just get this one thing correct, if you just do this one thing, it will almost guarantee that the other dominoes, especially if you are just starting to go balls to the wall serious about fitness, about working out, about getting fit. If this is your first year of getting serious about getting fit, there is only one thing you need to focus on, and the other things will naturally fall into place, okay? You know what it is? I'll tell you what's not. It's not gonna be consistent, drink more water, eat all your protein. All those important, yes, but there's one thing, if you get right, the other things will be a lot easier to do, and that is only do things you enjoy in the gym. Only do workouts you enjoy, and absolutely avoid anything that you do not enjoy. Why? Because if you enjoy it, guess what you will do more of? You will be consistent. All right? So people talk about consistency is the most important thing in working out. Yes, but what comes with the consistency is that you genuinely, most of the time, just enjoy doing the workout. The most fit people that you know, athletes, bodybuilders, whoever, the reason that they're there is mostly 80% or more because they just sincerely, genuinely just enjoy it. And the 20% is really the discipline pushing in, but they really just like going to the gym. And if they don't go to the gym for a week, a few weeks, they start feeling off and they start getting edgy, like, oh, gotta get my fix, gotta go to my gym. And it starts this process in which you actually prefer to go to the gym than not go to the gym. So when you found an activity, a workout that you actually prefer to do than not do, that is how you find consistency, okay? I was looking at some photos from 1 year ago at myself, because, you know, I'm the only one that does that. Just kidding. I was looking at photos with my kids in Google Photos. We're just going through, you know, old photos, and I was looking at myself and I was like, surprised. Why? Because my arms were small and skinny. And I was like, huh, that was only a year ago. And the reason this is surprising to me is a really important lesson. The reason it was so surprising is because I don't feel like I have been putting that much effort and intensity in the gym. And that's when I realized the important lesson. Intensity is not as important as consistency. In other words, consistency beats intensity. Most people focus on intensity, like, oh, I'm gonna get fit for the summer, I'm gonna get fit for this event, I'm gonna get fit for my beach bod, whatever. But you're missing the point in that if you just want to have long-term success, you just have to find exercises you enjoy, and that will result in doing more of it, and so therefore you'll be more consistent with it. Consistency beats intensity. And the second lesson I learned from looking at this photo of me being skinny as hell just 1 year ago, what I learned is that the reason it's important to see progress is not the reasons we think. It's not to say, oh, I'm doing great and I'm celebrating, pat myself in the back, good job, me. No. The reason it's important to understand progress is because it's proof and evidence that what you're doing is going well, and you should just keep going in that direction. Instead of tweaking out and messing around and shitting all over it, just keep going, and you're going in the directionally correct direction. Of course, you tweak it as you go, but you just have confidence and evidence that, oh, I'm doing something right, so all I have to do is keep going in this direction, instead of second guessing yourself all the time, all right? So those important lessons from me looking at this photo of me 1 year ago. Number one, consistency beats intensity. I was not working out intensely for a year, all right? And I'm gonna give you the exact parameters for 1 year. If you guys just implement these parameters, it'll make you jacked, it'll make you shredded, okay? Assuming that this is your first time that you're going balls to the wall serious about fitness and trying to get jacked, okay? And assuming that you want to look good and feel good, and that's your primary goal. Is like you want to look good and you can feel good. If you just focus on finding exercise you enjoy, then it'll get you there, all right? So what are those exercises we're talking about? Am I talking about, oh, I really enjoy doing calf raises, and that's all I enjoy, so that's all I'm gonna do in the gym? Is that gonna get you jacked? No. Maybe in your calves, yes, but is that really what you want? So there's only two exercises that if you can learn how to enjoy, which is the key here, it'll get you there. Number one, some kind of press, either bench press or Smith machine press or something like that. That's gonna put time under tension, and then you're gonna do one pull. So that's gonna be pull-ups, or that's gonna be pull down, cable pull downs, all right? That's gonna get your biceps and back. That's it. If you're not, assuming you're not gonna be trying to be a bodybuilder where you're trying to hit all the tiny little muscles, but you're gonna hit the major muscle groups that are gonna get you looking and feeling aesthetic and good and like a god, then it's gonna be pressing and it's gonna be pulling. Just two. Do those 3 times a week, 4 sets each workout. 4 sets each. It's not long, it's not complicated. Again, guys, if this is your first year going balls to the wall serious about this stuff, you're gonna see progress. You're gonna see progress. And you just have to stay consistent with it, and you're gonna see progress, all right? So 4 sets each, of 4 sets of pressing, 4 sets of pulling, and that's it. If that's what's gonna get you there, all right? You can implement other things if you want into your workout, but that's entirely up to you. But at the very basic minimum, that's what you can do. If you want to make your workouts shorter, like I do, let's say 30 minutes. All my workouts have for the last year and more have been just short 30-minute workouts. How do I do that? If you do supersets, I recommend trying it out, where you do 1 set of pushing, and then you take, while you're taking a break, you go to the pulling, you do the pull-ups, the pull-down machine, and then you get your pull-in. And you do that for 4 sets each. That'll take you 30 minutes. Done. Workout done. Do it 3 times a week, because it's enough time to put your muscles under tension, time under tension. It's enough volume. That's 12 sets per, volume would be 12 sets per week. Everyone will argue until kingdom come about the best reps, the amount of reps. It should be 8 to 10, should be 10 to 12, 15 to 20. If you guys, again, if you're really just starting to get serious about working out, it doesn't really matter. And the proof is in, like, look at the most jacked guy that's right now in the fitness space, right? It'd be like Sam Slick. People are tearing apart his workouts and saying they're not complete reps. He's doing every single set until failure. But look at him, right? So even a guy like that, who is more advanced than you probably are, more advanced than I am, is managing to get away with just being consistent. And that's what he's doing well every single day, hitting the gym. So if you're being consistent, it doesn't really matter, especially in the beginning stages, about how many reps you're doing, all right? Just make sure by the end of your sets, your 4 sets, or whatever sets you do, that you are going to failure, that you're really pushing those muscles, and the next time you're in the gym, try to do more volume, or do more reps, or do more sets. Just push it a little further, and after 1 year, like, the progress you're gonna see is just astounding, okay? So that's what we should focus on. So now let's get into the nutrition of it, all right? This is another thing that everyone gets caught up in, overcomplicates. Oh, I should do this, I should do that. If you're doing this for the first time, like really getting serious about fitness, what's really gonna move the needle in your physique, in your body, is gonna be going to the gym consistently, okay? It doesn't really matter what you eat or what you don't eat. Of course, if you're a high percentage of body fat, like over 25% body fat, probably cutting back on the calories is gonna help. If you're really skinny, like under 15% body fat, then probably eating a lot more calories is gonna help. Of course, protein helps, right? But again, guys, you're not trying to be a bodybuilder right now. You're beginning phases, it doesn't really matter. And the reason that you shouldn't focus too much on this is because it overcomplicates it and it makes it harder to be consistent, all right? So the first year of me working out, like consistently, all I did, my friends, was just stuff my face with whatever I wanted. Anything I wanted, and I was surprised by the results. Just eat whatever you want. Don't think too much. Don't overthink it. Of course, don't eat garbage every day, barring you not eating shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're gonna be okay. All right. So don't overthink it. For me, I will highly recommend, probably until the day I die, intermittent fasting, because I'm one of those guys that likes it. No, because I feel really good intermittent fasting. I feel focused. I feel energized. I don't feel lazy. And also, most importantly, actually, I hate the idea of not being able to eat something because I'm on a diet. I'm on a keto diet, so I can't eat that. That grinds my gears. That destroys me inside. If I'm ever on a diet and I'm like, oh, I can't eat that because, oh, you know, I'm on this diet. I can't live like that. That is not the life that I will accept and I will tolerate. So intermittent fasting works for me. Why? Because I can control not what I eat, but when I eat. So as long as I'm in a window of let's say 4 hours is what I do, 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours of eating. That's kind of extreme. They recommend at least 16 hours of fasting, right? But for me, it's 4 hours. And in that 4 hours of fasting, I can just choose to eat whatever I want. And I don't have to think about it. I just eat, stuff my face with anything I want. And that works because right now I'm cutting and I'm trying to lose fat. So this really works for me. And I like it. Actually, the reason I stayed with this workout with the intermittent fasting is because I feel good from doing it. At the end of the day, I'm like, wow, I was so productive. I didn't feel lazy. Like usually after you eat lunch or breakfast, you just feel tired, right? And I always felt tired. And I was like, why do I feel tired? And now since I'm fasting most of the day, I just don't feel tired. I feel energized. All I drink is sparkling water and black coffee. Sparkling water and black coffee. That's all I drink. Okay. So here's the next question that some of you guys might have. How do you find workouts you enjoy if you don't enjoy doing any work? Like I said, all you enjoy is doing calf raises and playing volleyball. Got it. And that's all. Is that going to get you the physique you want? Probably not. There is a hack to learn how to enjoy doing workouts, and that is give it 2 weeks. Give something 2 weeks of just pushing through, grinding, putting in the work, and just pushing through with sheer discipline and willpower for 2 weeks. And just say to yourself mentally, this is a temporary 2-week phase where I'm just going to do the bench press, even though I hit it, and I'm going to do the pull down or the pull-ups, whatever it is, for the chest and back, which also hits the triceps and biceps and shoulders. And that's all I'm going to do for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, especially if you're early on in this process, you're going to see progress. And what happens with progress is you get reinforcement, positive reinforcement. You're going to say, oh, wow, this is awesome. And then what's going to happen, which is the magic, the next week, if you don't do it, you're going to say, man, I really feel like I should work out. And that's what you want. If you find workouts, if you find yourself preferring to do something than not doing it because you feel weird, you feel bad. If you guys know runners, if a runner does not run for like a few days, they just feel like they just get up and move. They'll like jump out of the car with their shoes and they'll just start running around in the middle of nowhere. That's like a runner's heart, is like, I just feel weird not running and I prefer to run. And then when you've passed that threshold where you go from I don't enjoy, it's hard, to actually prefer to do it, and then you start enjoying to do it. And then if you really want to hack the system, you find workouts that is an escape. Ooh, this I love. If you can find a workout, an escape, an exercise, a sport, whatever it is, that is an escape for you, which let's admit you have, right? Most of us growing up, teenagehood, feeling stressed, feeling boredom, feeling anxious, feeling lonely, feeling depressed. First thing we go to when we feel those emotions is what? You nailed it. You go to your phone. You go to video games. You go to porn. You go to social media. You go to TikTok. You go to Instagram. You go to YouTube. Infinitely better than all those things is finding an escape that is actually good for you, that is actually healthy for you, that is actually going to push the needle and move you forward with your goals in life. And that's when you've struck gold, all right? And I'll remind you guys, the people that are most successful in fitness, business, athletics, sports, whatever it is, relationships, marriage, they just, to a certain extent, like 80% of it is just, they just find a way to enjoy it. And then the rest of it, that's when the discipline is. That's when you really don't feel like doing it and you have to do it anyways. That's where the discipline kicks in. But it's not 100% discipline. That's my point. They started something, basketball players, for example. They're tall. They're pretty good at basketball already. You know, right? LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. They probably got a lot of reinforcement from when they were very young because they were gifted, genetically gifted at basketball. And then they were like, oh, I really enjoy it. And then they just had enough positive reinforcement to the point where they were like, you know what? I want to make a career out of this. And of course, it was hard, yes. And that's where the discipline came in. That's when it got really hard. And that really tested their motivation, right? So that's it. That's what you guys got to do for 1 year. All you have to focus on is focus on finding workouts you enjoy doing. Make sure that you're hitting a push exercise and a pull exercise. And if you don't enjoy doing those initially, give it some time and you will learn how to enjoy it, and then you will prefer to do it than not prefer it. And that is when you've struck gold, because then you have consistency. And what beats intensity is consistency. But what beats consistency is intense consistency. So if you can go to the gym 3 times a week or more, and you can be intense consistently, that is when you've won. That is when you are unstoppable, okay? So give it 1 year, and this is how you can get jacked real fast, all right? So let's hit the gym. I'm gonna do some calisthenics today, some handstands, some handstand push-ups. I'm gonna do some presses, and I'm gonna do some arms. And the handstands are really gonna hit the core. I always feel in my core and my back and my shoulders. And then we're gonna do the press, and then we're gonna do the bars, okay? Let's do it. Feels so good to work out. I always make a mental note right after workout. How do I feel? Because then I can psychologically trick myself into looking forward to a workout. Because short term it's hard. Right now it's hard. But in just 30 minutes from now, in an hour from now, I know I'm not gonna regret it. And if I don't do it, I am gonna regret it. And I know I'll feel good from getting that pump. And that's why I do it. This is gonna be applied to anything in life, right? If you have a good prayer with God, or if you journal, or if you talk to somebody when you're feeling difficulty in life, even though it's hard to do that in the beginning, if you make note of it and say, how do I feel right now? Then over time you'll prefer to do it because you'll associate the action with a pleasant feeling, and you'll be re-associating that with a good feeling. So there we go. Oh, let's get to work now, guys. Chris Hemsworth, here I come, bro. I'm coming for you. Hey, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to think of your porn habit to the same severity as your social media use. And I'm dead serious about this. I'm serious about this. Because the reason that you use social media is the same reason you use porn. That's the first reason. The same reason. The root cause is the same. It's to deal with some unsettled emotion, boredom, loneliness, right? And the second reason is because the dopamine is real. The exact situation that you just talked about. You're on Facebook, whatever, news site, and then something sexual catches your interest, right? The dopamine is real because you get a little dopamine hit, and the nature of dopamine is that you want more, and then you're searching more. And this is why people are led down this rabbit hole, is because one splash of dopamine will lead to another, and before you know it, you want to consume porn itself. The ultimate form of escapism, essentially. So that's the second reason, that you should treat porn and social media with the same severity, all right? And I'm serious about this. Really, I will confidently say that as long as men are on social media mindlessly, they will always be eventually led down the path to watching porn. Always. And the key here is mindlessly, all right? I think there are ways to be mindful, which means essentially it's purposeful, it's deliberate, it's strategic, it's on purpose, and it's not just, I'm gonna do this because I'm bored and just gonna see whatever the algorithm has to show me, right? So the recommendation I have is just make a rule, make hard rules for yourself. It's like, I'm only gonna go to Facebook just to check my notifications, or I'm just gonna go to YouTube just to see if this specific person posted a new video. Or you can set up notifications, so you only go, right? Or it's like, I'm gonna go to Netflix once a day just to watch one show a day. All right? And I know this might sound like it's hard or it's, you know, cumbersome, but I'm dead serious when I say that porn addiction, social media addiction, it's one and the same for many reasons. And until you are able to see that with the same severity as porn, I think you're just going to always go back to it. You're just going to, you know, go weeks, months even, successful, and then eventually you're going to go back to it. The other side of this is the nature of porn, right? Pornography is actually the opposite of sex. This is what I have learned. It's the opposite. Because the goal of porn is isolation for myself. Sexual satisfaction for myself. And the end result is isolation, and more isolation. The end result of a sexual relationship, as God intended it, is connection. So we have isolation with porn, and we have connection in love. The complete polar opposites. And so it's a misnomer to say that porn equals sexual release. It's not. And so that's why when I talk to people about their sexual habits, I ask them, like, well, what do you want? Do you want to be someone that masturbates your whole life and brings that into your future, into your relationships? Or do you want to be somebody that has control? And most people will say, yeah, I'd like to be someone that has control. Well then, there you go. That's what you should work on. And so there's no justification anymore. There's no reasoning. There's no brain trickery. It's just like, well, I don't want to. And so never forget what you want. This is why your vision is so important. Never forget, this is the person I want to be. Because I want it. You can justify the hell out of porn and masturbation. Everyone else is doing it. You can. You can justify the hell out of it and say, oh, my wife is not around. I'm stressed. I'm lonely. I'm so addicted. It's been so long. You could do that until the day you die. Everyone else is doing that. But is that the person you want to be? Thank you so much. God bless you. All right, let's head home. I'm going to hug my wife, kiss my kids, especially give my son some love. He needs some love. I've been a little hard on him recently. So we're going to play Legos together and probably go out on the trampoline and jump around for 30 minutes, probably an hour. So don't overcomplicate it. You're doing your fitness. I know it's tempting to say, oh, but what about this? What about that? What about drinking more water? What about sleep? What about nutrition? What about protein? What about macros? What about micros? All this stuff. I get it. Caveat, guys. You are first time in your life going balls to the walls serious about fitness. When I say balls to the walls, by the way, guys, please know that that is not what you think it means. Look it up. It's not the meaning that you think it means, all right? It's actually a pilot's term. Anyways, look it up. So if you've never been serious about fitness, if you just do this one big domino, it'll solve everything, all of your issues. And don't overcomplicate it. The problem is, if you overcomplicate it, then you create friction in your workout routine, you create friction in your life, so it's hard to be consistent. All you have to do is focus on finding workouts that you enjoy doing, all right? That's it. And if you have a hard time finding workouts you enjoy, it means you're being lazy and you're being unmotivated. Guys, if you're unmotivated, I can help you there too. One of the episodes we did before this one about motivation, I recommend that you go and watch that. I'll put it down somewhere. Check out that. Motivation is BS, and you can muster and conjure motivation intrinsically, not extrinsically, from within yourself, and that's true motivation. You don't need anyone else or any outside source to feel motivated, all right? And I'll remind you guys that death is the ultimate motivator. So if you want to be motivated to work out, make it not about just you, but about others. How can I work out so that I'm saving lives? And how can you work out in a sense that if you don't, someone's gonna die and you're essentially killing people? And I know that sounds extreme, but that's how I think. And I think that's how a lot of successful people think about life and business and fitness and relationships and mission especially, is that if I don't do this, the opportunity cost is that someone's life could be changed, but it's not because I'm being a wuss, all right? So that's the ultimate motivator for me. When I hit the gym, I think to myself, if I don't do this, if I don't work out, if I don't invest in my health, I'm just gonna be another overweight dude, an American guy that's just fat as shit and has let myself go and has that dad bod. And I make all the excuses that everyone says, oh, it's because I have 3 children and I'm busy and life is stressful and yada, yada, yada. I refuse to be that. I will die before I ever make that excuse. And so that's why I do it. It's because I will not let myself become like that. I will, and when I go to the gym, every time I do it, I think, if I'm doing this, maybe I'll inspire somebody. And that's enough for me. Maybe there's one person, there's one guy that I'll be able to explain something or teach something about how to be fit and how to be a man of integrity, a man of God. And if that inspires one person and that moves one person's life in the right direction, then that's worth it for me. And that's saving someone's life. And if I don't do it, if I don't put in the work, if I say I'm unmotivated and I don't want to go to the gym and I'm uninspired, I am essentially losing a life. That's how I see it. Okay? Death is the ultimate motivator. So you can find ways to psychologically convince yourself through magic that you are saving lives through your workouts. And I believe you can. I believe you are. Guys, you got this. Go crazy. Do it. You absolutely can dominate and become 100% the jacked, shredded, monster, buff, human being, man, Spartan that you are meant to be and that God sees you as. All right? If we were living hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, in Rome, wherever, imagine yourself, that version of you. What would you do with your time and energy in your headspace, in your work? Chances are you would probably not spend any time goofing around online. Chances are. You probably wouldn't spend time playing video games or watching porn and masturbating all day. You would be going after it. You would be hustling. You would be working hard. And you would come home, live a simple life, and you would come home, spend time with your family, with your wife, and you would pass on traditions to your children. That is what you would do. And for some reason, just in the last few decades, we're so insightful. Humanity is so insightful and so progressive that all of a sudden we don't need marriage. We don't need relationships. We don't need children. We can just do what we want. We can live in a camper van. Just me and my girlfriend. Just goofing around, because that's what happiness is. That is what the perfect life is. Because we're so insightful. We don't need religion. All the hundreds of millions of people, no, billions of people around the world, most of planet Earth, is devoutly religious. Catholic, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, and all of a sudden we're so insightful that we don't need that and everyone is insane and it's all BS. Oh, we're so insightful. No, it's arrogance. The opposite of arrogance is what? Curiosity. And if you want to be a man of true integrity, it takes curiosity to think, oh, maybe there's something I don't know and there's something I can learn. Maybe there's something about God, about my exercise, about my fitness, about my lifestyle that I don't know, that I can learn from. And I'm going to try to understand. Even if you're skeptical, guys, it's okay. We're all skeptical. It's good to be skeptical. The question is, if you're skeptical as a pessimist or an optimist. Are you pessimistically, cynically skeptical, or are you optimistically cynical and skeptical? Skepticism is good. It'll save your life. It'll help you. But if you're truly a skeptic, a real skeptic, you will try to understand. You will do research. You will try to find out. You'll be a man of God. All right? So that's what we have for you guys today. You can do this. You can dominate. Doing the work. You can do it. Be consistent. But don't focus on consistency. Focus on doing things you enjoy. And naturally, it will become more consistent and easier to do over time. You will start to enjoy doing it and prefer to do it than not do it. And then you might even develop an addiction to your form of escapism, whether it's pushing, pulling, bench press, pull-ups, handstands, whatever it is, guys. Figure it out and you can do it. Just to recap and remind you guys, make sure you're doing, at the very least, doing some kind of press and some kind of pull. And you can interchange them. You can figure out exactly which type of push and pull you want to do. There's a ton of options, but just make sure you're hitting those. And if you don't enjoy it, make sure you learn how to enjoy it by trying it out for a few weeks, just putting in the discipline, putting in the effort, and over time, you will start to enjoy it because you will see progress. And then you can add in other exercises. If you want to, after a year of going balls to the walls, you can decide to hit other muscle groups if you want, totally optional. If you want to be a bodybuilder, totally optional. If you want to compete, totally optional. But in this first, getting your shit together, getting your act together, in your health, in your body, your aesthetics, to do it for 1 year. Be consistent, and it'll change your life, as it has mine. Let's do it.
I'm home. Oh, sweet home. Bye-bye. Hello.